Hey everybody, it's Benjamin here at the Scent Jar Fragrance Channel. Come back at you with more fragrances, more colognes, more perfumes, and today we're going to be talking about Glass Rose from Sucreabelle. If you haven't heard about this brand, they're an indie brand. They're doing a pretty good job overall. I like a lot of their creativity. They're coming out with a lot of fragrances, and this is one from their Rose collection. Perfect for layering. I feel like the vibe and the feel of these fragrances are perfect for layering. This one is called Glass Rose. Now, to me, when I think of Glass Rose, I automatically, because of my childhood and probably a lot of your childhood, when you think of a Glass Rose, does anything come to mind? I'll give you a second. No? Well, it reminds me of Beauty and the Beast. It makes me think of the glass rose. So when I think of glass rose, I think of the crystallines or glass. I think of something magical and sparkly. This fragrance very much, I think, does capture that vibe in a really nice way. It's not particularly sparkly, but it does have a little bit of the powdery notes, and it does twinkle just a little bit. To me, this does have more of an Ambroxan vibe. I don't know if that was the intent, but to me, they're getting that glass-like vibe from Ambroxan type notes, musks and Ambroxan, and some of those notes that smell a little bit more like silicon or sand. Those kinds of notes. This is what I'm sure was a difficult thing to create, or somewhat difficult to create that kind of accord and that smell. I'm sure they went back and forth and tested different ways to go about this. I do feel like it smells slightly metallic. I don't know if they were going for like a bright clear crystal or glass, or this is called glass, so maybe it's a little bit of a thick glass. I'm not sure. Anyways, it does smell. It does capture the smell pretty successfully, but it still smells a little bit metallic to my nose at times. I think that this should have been more of an ambergris focused rose of the bunch. But that's just my opinion. Anyways, it is a successful fragrance. It does smell nice. It does smell good. The rose, to me, this is one of the fragrances that has the least amount of rose. This one and Wood Rose probably have the least amount of rose in the bunch. And this rose here is I'm not sure how to describe the rose. Maybe it's an older white rose. All these fragrances have different rose like smells. This one is kind of hard to pin down. Maybe it's an old pink rose. I think that might be a better description. An old pink rose and a glass like accord. So interesting smell, interesting intention with what they were going for with this smell and this brand. I think that is quite interesting for sure, for certain. Longevity wise, this one actually projects a little bit better and has a little bit better sillage overall than some of the others. I think that there's more synthetics going on with this one, but even though the sillage might be a little bit better, the projection, I said it was a little bit better, but I still feel like the projection is not really here in a big way. Yeah, the sillage is a little bit better, and the longevity is about the same, 6.5 hours or so. So to me, this is definitely turns into more of a musk scent on the skin. It turns into more of a musk. That was probably their intent. I'm just being picky and throwing my opinion out there about ambergris. Not everything has to be my way, of course. But anyways, this is an interesting creation, interesting combination. Performance is kind of acceptable. What are my final? I'm not final thoughts yet. I'm to compliment factor. What am I thinking? Anyways, the compliment factor. My goodness, this didn't get me a lot of attention. To me, this is more of a base note. It's not doesn't feel like a fleshed out complete fragrance, and musks aren't usually particularly exciting to people. But it did smell interesting. It did smell nice, and to people, they did when I let them smell it, they thought it was interesting. But for some reason, this one didn't grab as much attention as some of the others. The blood rose, the flame rose, those grabbed tons of attention. Those were very popular. My favorite, black rose, grabbed a good amount of attention. But this one, it's more of a musk, in my opinion, or almost kind of has more of a musk-like feel. So it just didn't grab people because it's kind of it tries to be more like a sillage kind of fragrance, and it just doesn't have a lot of sillage. So when people walk past you, they might realize it if you're close to them, if you walk past them, if you brush up, past somebody's shoulders. But I don't feel like this is particularly exciting as a fragrance enough to really get them to, turn around and want to approach you. Anyways, My final thoughts with this fragrance: these are about $39 for 1 ounces. I think that their prices are just right, even though I don't think that this one is the most exciting, and I did describe it as a Beauty and the Beast, kind of captured the note of that glass rose. I do feel like this is a little bit heavy for crystal rose. I wish it was a little bit lighter in the composition. I wish that it was even more musk heavy, and I do wish that this was ambroxan heavy. I know that some people might not like ambroxan, but for this rose collection, there's a lot of other roses you could choose from. I felt like this one should be the one that's an ambrox focused rose. It's a nice creation, it's well done, but I do wish that the rose came through in more of a transparent, maybe molecule like way. And also, I do wish that the glass part of this was more musk like, more crystalline, more like a starlight kind of accord, that kind of vibe than anything. So to me, this is not the most successful creation. It's not the most, I guess, successful in the composition, but it's still good. It's still perfectly good to layer with other fragrances, and I think that that is one of the strong suits from this collection. If you're looking for something to layer and add some dimension, to switch things up a little bit, you like little rose touches to fragrances especially, and you want some different character to your collection, you could really change things up and get a lot of versatility and a lot of different kinds of smells and fragrance combinations if you buy something like this that you can layer with other scents. So 1 ounce for $39 is not bad, but this is not one of the ones that I would really suggest for everybody else out there. I do like this one better than some of the others, but Black Rose and Blood Rose are probably my favorites out of the bunch. This one's all right. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. But I'd never let me discourage you from fragrances. Get out there, try fragrances, wear them yourself, test them, sample, buy decants, and let me know what you think about these fragrances. I'm just here to help you find what you love. I hope that you find a fragrance you love. I hope that you find what truly moves you, what you truly connect with, what fits your personality, your style, your how you speak, everything. I hope that you find a fragrance that's perfect for you. That's what I'm here for. I hope that again, that's what I'm all about. So wear what you love, rock what you got. Try this fragrance out. Let me know what you think about this brand if they sound interesting to you. If you haven't seen the rest of the Rose Collection videos, check them out. I have a bunch of Rose Collection fragrances from this brand. There's a bunch of these different little roses. And I'll see you next time, my friends. Wear what you love, rock what you got. And if you loved my video today, please consider liking, subscribing, hitting that notification bell, sharing the video, telling a friend, and don't forget, of course, to hit that notification bell. If you don't, you won't get notified of my videos. So I'll see you next time, my friends. Wear what you love, and peace out. I'll see you next time, and bye.